Her grandparents fled Jaffa, Palestine, in 1948 during the Nakba, the Palestinian exodus caused by the proclamation of the State of Israel. Neither Susanne's grandparents nor her mother, father, and siblings ever again visited the harbor city where her ancestors lived. Susanne has been the first and only of her family to return. Susanne became more focused on researching her own family history and the Palestinian diaspora more broadly when she was working on her bachelor's degree at St. Joost Academy. In 2014, she spent a semester at the International Academy of Art in Ramallah, Palestine. The events she experienced and people she encountered aided her in building a creative palette that would shape her visual vocabulary. Handala is an important recurring figure in Susanne's work. The character was created in 1969 by Palestinian cartoonist Naji Al-Ali. It is a representation of his 10-year-old self in 1948 when the Nakba began. The figure of the young boy is turned away from the viewer with his hands clasped behind his back and symbolizes justice, emancipation, and self-determination. Susanne identifies with the symbolic meaning of Handala. To her, the many different Handalas that are used in her artwork represent all the different individuals, all the refugees who were forced to flee and abandon their homes. Many Palestinian refugees are still struggling to be free and participate in daily life. They are stateless, have no passport or papers or rights, and are restricted by their lingering refugee status. Susanne Khalil Yusef was born in Germany and has lived in the Netherlands since she was a teenager. Susanne is part of a third generation of Palestinians who were forced to leave their country after the declaration of the State of Israel. The artist considers her life to have started at the age of 25. That's when she became a Dutch citizen. Finally, she was able to start art school and travel to where she longed to go. The reappearance of imagery and motifs in multiple pieces is characteristic of Susanne's practice. For example, she has repurposed the portraits of about 30 young, murdered Palestinian men. The project started when for about 2 months the artist followed the news through Arabic media. She was shocked to find out the number of young Palestinian men that were murdered in such a short amount of time. A crucial generation is eliminated, and their deaths strongly affect the Palestinian community. In its most recent form, titled Yusef Boys, Susanne creates ceramic and bronze busts based on those same faces. In the exhibition at Foam, the busts contain fresh flowers that slowly wilt as they are exhibited. It is inspired by artist Joseph Beuys' Rose for Direct Democracy. It's the artist's way of keeping stories like those of the murdered young men alive. Bringing together different materials and techniques, the photography in Susanne's work is often found imagery and archival objects. Since Susanne's family has never visited Palestine, they rely on memories and stories to create their own idea of what Palestine is. As time passes, narratives develop and solidify, even as the family's connection to the physical place becomes more distant. The Israeli drone Harpy is the smallest type of weapon that hovers around and attacks ground targets on its own. Susanne became intrigued by the different shapes of the drones. The shapes are recurring symbols in her paintings, as ceramic objects and other artworks. At Foam, Susanne presents Harpy the Flying Carpet. It is a soft, tufted carpet that is placed against a neon orange backboard. It poses a powerful contrast between the alarming aggression of the drone and comfort of the soft rug. Neither Susanne's grandparents nor her mother, father, and siblings ever again visited the harbor city where her ancestors lived. Susanne has been the first and only of her family to return.